you ever wanted to see what your financial future looks like as a visual picture, or want to know exactly what you need to do with your finances in order to achieve the life you want? That is exactly what we do. And the easiest way to demonstrate this to you is through an example of this process. Now, this is an example client. So it is a lady who is divorced. She is 45, and this is basically her fact find and her plans for the future. Her main concern is whether she can maintain her current standard of living for the rest of her life without running out of money. So as I said, she is 45. She has a son who is currently 4. The maintenance for her son from the ex-husband stops at 21, when the son is 21, and we're assuming he is going to leave home at 25. She's going to retire, or wants to retire, at 65. Her retirement age is 65. That is slightly irrelevant because she's not working, but what is relevant is that her maintenance from the ex-husband will stop when she gets to 65. She's going to pass, we're presuming, at 90. Maintenance that she's currently receiving from her ex-husband for her is £24,000 a year, and her maintenance that she receives on behalf of the son is £6,000. She has £300,000 sat in cash in the bank, £150,000 in her pension. Her property is worth £400,000 and it has no mortgage on it. Her total outgoings are £36,000 a year, and they will reduce when the son leaves home at age 25 to £24,000 a year. So as I said before, her main concern is, can she maintain her current standard of living for the rest of her life without running out of money? Because of course at the moment she's spending more than what is coming in. So let's see. So this basically paints a visual picture of her situation. As you can see, her age is along the bottom. This black line across the top is her total expenses in any given year. Now, the reason we've got this step effect is because this includes inflation. Now, we've assumed for this model that inflation is going to be 3% each year, but of course that could be changed if somebody wanted to either put inflation as more or as less. Anything in blue is anything coming in, so any money from income, maintenance, savings, pensions. Anything in red is a shortfall. Now, as you can see, this lady is basically running out of money at age 77. Now, in this particular model, she wants to keep the property, so we haven't assumed that she's using any money from her property or downsizing. So the next question is what does she do in order to basically get rid of this shortfall? So one option is she could basically we could see and simulate how much she would need to save before 65, her retirement age, to get rid of that shortfall. So how much she would need to save on an annual basis. And this will calculate that figure for us, and that figure is £11,626 a year. Now, that is not possible for this lady because, of course, she's currently spending more than is coming in. So, and this is where the advice side of it comes into play. So the next thing is if we have a look and see what, if she was, rather than keeping that £300,000 sat in the bank, if she kept 50,000 sat in the bank as an emergency fund, so when the boiler breaks, etc., she invested £20,000 into a stocks and shares ISA and a further £230,000 into an investment account. Now, this is in a portfolio of funds. We've assumed a rate of return of 6% a year, and also fees of 1.5%. So nothing risky. We're not targeting 10% a year, just targeting a return of 6% a year, and that's what's been assumed in this model. If we then have a look at the difference, you can see, and we can compare the two plans. So rather than her running out of money at age 77, we've now pushed that to halfway through her being 88. So that's a huge, huge difference. I move myself out of the way. That's a huge, huge difference. Now, the next thing we want to look at, she's still not quite happy with this. So, but what we've managed to do is push that so much further back with her actually not physically doing anything. She's not made any major changes apart from investing that money. She's not still particularly happy with still having the shortfall before 90. So the next suggestion is, if she was to work 1 or 2 days a week until her retirement age of 65 and earn £8,500 a year, what would that look like? And you can see that her shortfall has completely disappeared. In any given year, we can see what money is coming in, what money is going out, what her investments are worth, what her pensions are worth, what her property will be worth. And the other thing that's also taken into consideration is taxation as well, which is, of course, very, very important. We can model anything within this particular model, and we basically sit down with clients and say, right, we map out when they want to retire, when they want to buy a boat, and perhaps have a 50th celebration. We basically sit down, model their timeline, and then create their personal plan and strategy in order to make sure they can achieve what they want from their life, and their finances will allow them to do that too.